Every year, millions of shelter dogs eagerly await a loving family to bring them home. The lucky ones get their wish, but the rest languish in cages, hoping that they find their place before time runs out. All they have for comfort is each other. That was the case for these two canines, who were close as could be despite their overwhelming differences. A glimmer of hope appeared in 2014, but there were a ton of hurdles blocking them from their happily ever after ending. They had to find some way to communicate with their human caretakers. Thanks to years of hard work, the folks at Rocket Dog Rescue managed to save the lives of over 10,000 animals. They connected pets with families all over San Francisco, though there were two critters the staff weren't quite as optimistic about. They were an unlikely pair. Meryl, a 3-year-old pit bull, dwarfed her best pal, Taco, who was a Chihuahua well past her 8th birthday. But they formed a strong bond when they entered the shelter around the same time. Rocket didn't know much about their past. For Taco, they guessed that his former owner didn't want an older dog. As for Meryl, it seemed that a breeder used her to produce a few litters and left her worse for the wear. She was grappling with an infection and some physical trauma from her last round of deliveries, and these problems weren't resolving themselves. Rocket team members decided Meryl needed to undergo surgery before her condition grew any worse. The procedure took a fair amount of time, but the veterinarians did well to keep their focus. They stitched Meryl back up and moved her to a quiet room to recover. But they were then distracted by a sound echoing from down the hall. It was Taco. The shelter staff reported that he'd been whimpering ever since they brought his pit bull Pale into surgery. No amount of comforting would make it stop. There was just one option left. They brought Taco into the recovery room with Meryl, and the two dogs immediately snuggled up together. While having a friend visit after surgery certainly broke shelter protocol, the vets figured the dogs were better off together than apart. This turn of events provided a huge moment of clarity for the hardworking caregivers. Taco and Meryl wouldn't let anything, not even a medical emergency, keep them apart. They couldn't let one be adopted without the other. The shelter posted a series of photos of the two pooch pals hanging out and pleaded, "This dynamic duo has lost their family, their home, and now we can't let them lose each other." But would it be enough to attract a loving owner? The post gained a ton of attention, as internet users couldn't get enough of the mismatched friendship. Even so, Rocket couldn't find anyone in San Francisco who was interested in taking in both dogs. In that moment, the caretakers considered walking back their package pooch deal. Plenty of folks would be interested in taking a young and healthy pit bull, but being attached to an aging Chihuahua could have been holding Meryl back. However, an email soon arrived from a woman named Jody. She and her family in San Diego were curious about fostering a couple dogs, and Meryl and Taco seemed like perfect candidates. Rocket packed up the canines for a meeting. The introduction couldn't have gone better. After Jody and her kids instantly latched on to both the pit bull and the Chihuahua, they could hardly wait to get their signatures on the adoption paperwork. Still, the San Diego suburbs would be a huge adjustment. To preserve some semblance of familiarity, the Foster family decided to keep both dogs' names. Jody's children painted some custom food bowls to mark the occasion. As the pets settled in, their online fans asked for constant updates on their progress. Jody was happy to oblige. Meryl and Taco posed all over the place for hilarious photos that caused their online profile to boom in popularity. The owners even made a fan page for the pups, but were afraid to divulge that something was very wrong. Just weeks into his stay, Taco displayed some troubling symptoms. A subsequent vet visit revealed that he had a weak heart and fluid gathering around his lungs. He'd need a heavy dose of medication, though there was no guarantee it would work. Taco's troubles clearly affected Meryl, but luckily both dogs had wonderful support system for this health scare. The entire family bonded as they waited to see if the Chihuahua's medicine would save his life. Fortunately, the treatment worked. Taco bounced back, though he was never quite as spry as he was in his younger days. He and Meryl befriended a number of neighborhood dogs and enjoyed the SoCal lifestyle. Sadly, Taco passed away in 2018, but he had a rich life. Meryl, sad as she was, continued to be a beacon of light for her new family. She showed them how compassionate pit bulls could be, and they joined the fight to remove stigma against these dogs.